still there. Actually saw them on Facebook. They took pictures of Instagram. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I was like, oh, I know what that is. They really want it on stage.
Check, check. All right, thank you for staying. I know it's hot. I apologize. We tried to get the heat or the air turned down, but apparently it was leaking out all winter and there's not much left. So anyway, this is what we have. We're going to start off with a terrific old march by Henry Fillmore, who was a contemporary of John Philip Sousa. Everybody knows John Philip Sousa's march, but I guarantee Fillmore's marches are every bit as good. This is a little thing, Perry, that you know called Rolling Thunder. my favorite composers was Dmitri Shostakovich, a Russian symphonist who was born in 1906, and so he was very young when the Bolshevik Revolution happened and witnessed all of that and became a very famous worldwide for his music. He hated the communists, but he was so popular he was allowed to travel. When Shostakovich traveled, they never let his family go with him because they thought he would emigrate, so they kept his family in Russia, and he was able to travel alone. Wrote a ton of great symphonies and orchestral music and things like this, and he also dabbled, was very interested in jazz early on that he heard when he came to America. And so he did a piece called the Jazz Suite or the Variety Suite, and this is, the first piece we have is from that. It's a waltz, it's a very slow waltz, very nice, relaxed, 3/4 type of a waltz. But you'll notice there's just a little hint of a tea dance jazz thing, and it features a alto saxophone solo, which was unique at that time. And the second piece is just one of his famous works called Galop from one of his operas called Cheremushki. And so I put these two pieces together, called it a Shostakovich Suite. This is the waltz and the galop. Very blessed here at Windsor. We have some amazing talent and would put these kids up against anybody in the state. We had 2 kids make all-state band this year. Now there's 106 kids in all-state band. They come from 525 school districts. And we got 2 of them. That's more than our fair share. And one of them is Heather Decker, who made all-state band for 4 years, from a freshman through senior, which is unique. I think there was her, maybe one other. 2 kids in the entire state of Missouri made all-state for 4 years. So it's quite a honor. Heather's going to Webster University next year as a music major, and she played a movement from this concerto at district and state contest, got a 1 at state last weekend in Columbia. She played the first movement of this concerto by Carl Maria von Weber. He was a contemporary, a little bit later than Mozart, so it's very much in that classical style. And this is the 3rd movement. So she played the first movement for state, the 2nd movement gets to sit, and we just kind of worked up this 3rd movement relatively quickly. Smaller instrumentation behind us for this. It's going to, so that the clarinet can cut through. But this is Heather and the Rondo by Carl Maria von Weber. Next piece is a beautiful aria from an opera by Puccini called Turandot, and this is called Nessun Dorma. I saw this on Britain's Got Talent. There was a guy named Paul Potts who sang this and kind of got famous. It's just a beautiful aria, very, very short, but an opportunity for us to try to be as expressive as we can be. One of our other All-Staters was Gary C. Sharp, who's only a sophomore. So Gary has, we hope, a very promising future. He's got a very successful past. Gary, obviously, as you know, not only plays horn in this band, but plays trombone in the other jazz band, and actually got a trombone award at the UMSL Jazz Festival, even though he didn't take a solo. They just appreciated him from the auditorium, and he got a surprise award. He also got the Outstanding Student Accompanist with the choir when he played the horn with them at a festival at Six Flags. So Gary's all over the place. This is, he played again. Just like Heather, Gary played a concerto at District and State and got a 1 on this past Saturday. This also is the third movement of his concerto, and it also happens to be a rondo. So we had Heather's rondo and Gary's rondo. This is Gary's rondo. It's by Richard Strauss, and we hope you enjoy it. Could I please have all my seniors stand up and raise your hand? Seniors, stand up. This is a group of 11 kids that started here a long time ago. They went through, a lot of these kids marched in 7th grade. They've given so much time and so much effort. They went through a band director change, which is very stressful for a school. They hung in there. They've done a terrific job. They're leaders in our band. They're section leaders. They're band council. They give lessons. They give leadership. They give advice. They spend hours in the practice room, locked in locker rooms. I don't know what they do in there, but probably important stuff, they tell me. So I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart for staying with me in my 2 years, for staying here with the band, for being the leaders that you are, for being the wonderful people that you are. I wish you all the best. You're always welcome. Come back anytime. Thank you very much. Now, we have a lot of special kids in the band, but one of them is our senior drum major, Kevin Hans. And Kevin's mother, Lisa, was probably the second person I met when I came to Windsor. Got hired, came in on a weekend or Sunday, and I walked into my band room, and I walked into the choir room, and Lisa was stuffing crap into a room in the theater stuff in the choir room. And we started talking, and it turns out Lisa went to Hickman High School, and I had just spent 6 years teaching at Rockbridge High School in Columbia, and living in Columbia for 14 years. And the second person I met at Windsor, turns out her dad is Perry Morgan, who I met when I moved to Columbia in 1997. Played in the Columbia Community Band, and I conducted Perry in several circus bands and things like that. Small world. And Perry, Kevin's grandfather, is a fantastic musician. It was a hobby for him that he's spent his lifetime doing. And so Lisa wanted to honor her parents, Perry and Janine, with a song, because music's important to Perry and the entire Hans family. So we found local composer Joe Pappas, who's sitting right here next to Perry. I met Joe years ago when I was in college. Joe had black hair, and I didn't have any hair, even back then. And so we called Joe in, we sat down and talked with Lisa. Mr. Hermack and I sat down and said, what is Perry like? Well, Perry's a euphonium player, just like his grandson. Perry likes marches, Perry likes circuses. So Joe sat down to write a piece. And so we wrote a march. It's got a killer euphonium part that Perry's grandson Kevin is going to play for us tonight. When we get done with this commission, we're going to hand it over to the Columbia Community Band where Perry plays, and hopefully those older gentlemen can handle it. It's brutal, Perry, I'm going to tell you, it's pretty brutal. This is a wonderful march. Now, sometimes when you commission stuff, Joe wrote this very fast. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to get. I strongly believe this is going to be a tremendous contribution to the literature. Joe wrote a spectacular piece for a spectacular man. And listen for the baritone section in the back. So for Perry and Janine Morgan and Lisa Hans and Kevin Hans and the Hans family, this is The Chimes of Windsor. Premier performance.
Thank you. Go get into some air conditioning. Bye.